Yeah.
What do you think of my boa and my football hat?
He's been a little bit insufferable today. He's very happy, Jaylon.
I mean, I'm gonna show you some mercy today. I'm gonna say you look all right. You don't look too bad.
Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to, full disclosure, since you are so kind to join us on Twitch, it's a QB1 party is what we're calling it. Because, so I'm 36 years old. I've never seen the Bears have a good quarterback. That's not hyperbole. That's a fact. And so I came in today and I bought $100 worth of balloons because I legitimately don't think I've ever been as happy as a Bears fan because I believe so much in Justin Fields. I know that must strike you as absurd, but I got to be honest with you, a lot of Bears fans agree with me. How does that hit you when I know you care about the wins and losses a lot, but this town is so desperate for a good quarterback?
Oh, I feel like for me, it's like I'm not surprised by anything Justin's doing. And then, like, for me, honestly, it's like one of those things where it's like now people want to say, like, he's a QB1. And it's like one of those things where I feel like it's so easy to say, well, oh, he's young, he's learning, he still has to figure it out. He can't do this, he can't do that, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. But I feel like it really takes the right system and it takes the right things being done. I feel like you can't just put any quarterback in any system and expect them to succeed. So I really feel like it's just one of those things where I feel like they found the right system for Justin. And they're doing some really good things to really allow what he does best to shine, really. So I feel like for me, I mean, I know what he can do physically, what type of person he is, what type of leader he is. And I mean, I'm always around him. So I mean, I've been a clear believer in him being QB1. I think it's just other people being so surprised by his success, but I feel like it just goes into those around him, putting him in position to be successful, to be able to really shine a light on what he can do.
That's football, right? That's why it's fascinating for us to talk about it as much as we do. Jaylon's because he's trying to figure out what is scheme, what is coaching, what is talent, what is teammates. Like it's a tricky mix, isn't it? It definitely seems like they have figured some things out offensively. Him and Getsy and Eberflus and all those guys. Do you get to enjoy it? Did you get to enjoy? I know you had a lot of work to do yesterday, but did you get to enjoy watching that offense and watching him function like we did a little?
Oh, definitely. I mean, they were doing some really good things. And I mean, him setting that record and QB rushing yards, him having a long touchdown run, just his escape. I thought there was a time where it was like, oh, like, dang, Justin, watch out. And then all of a sudden he makes a crazy move, and now he's turning what could have been a 10-yard loss and a sack into a freaking 15-yard third down conversion. So, I mean, he's just really out there just creating so many problems, I feel like, for defenses. And it's some things that he just really makes happen that aren't scripted, that I feel like really changes the game for us.
Last thing on this before we talk about the defense a little is that, Eberflus commented on it today. It's like, it's weird because he was asked about it. He's like, is it hard when you lose a game, but you're feeling so good about the offense? And he said, that's a good question. Like, do you guys talk about that? Can you take any moral happiness from a game like that? Yesterday, fans can, but for you, it's got to be different.
I mean, definitely. I mean, shoot, at the end of the day, we lost. And it's one of those things where, of course, as a defense, we didn't have our best performance. So, I mean, it's not something that we don't enjoy or that we just look over. I mean, we definitely give the offense their props. I mean, every time they come off, we always want to give them encouraging words, whether they are having a good day or a bad day. And I feel like it made no difference yesterday. Just keep building them up. And, I mean, it's just good for us and for them to have that success. We just got to do better on defense to really just give them help. Because, I mean, I thought they had a good enough performance for that to be a winning performance. I thought we got to do a better job on defense to make that come true as a defense.
Spieg said it was the last question on the offense. He lied. I got one more. We're talking to Jaylon Johnson. Like you're going to have Hurts, right? You're going to get to play Jalen Hurts later in the year. They're on your schedule. You're going to play Josh Allen later in the year with the Bills. They're on your schedule. How difficult and what do you do to game plan against a quarterback who can run like Justin Fields? There have not been many of them who can in the history of this league. How do you game plan it?
Well, first we need to address the fact that you're comparing Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen to Justin's running ability. That's the first question.
Okay, so are you saying that they are nowhere near as good as Justin? Is that what you're saying?
running the ball, creating havoc, and scrambling. I don't know. I don't think that's a question. Now they definitely do some really good things. They're definitely two really good quarterbacks, especially in Josh Allen. But if we're talking about just strictly running quarterback, I think there's probably only one other quarterback in this league that can do what Justin does, if not better. And I thought that's Lamar Jackson. But anybody else, I thought there's definitely some levels to it. But like I said, those other guys are still definitely good quarterbacks, just not comparing to Justin in that aspect.
Okay, fair enough. Noted. I love when you check me on my absurdity. But so then, but the premise of the quarterback who can do both. How difficult is it to game plan a Lamar Jackson type then?
Now that's difficult. Of course, you can't have too many situations where everybody's back is to the quarterback. I mean, when he runs, it's not like it's just going to be a quick scramble and then he just getting out of bounds. Like, nah, it can turn from, okay, just break the pocket to now, like you've seen Justin 60-yard touchdown. You can see those type of guys take it the distance. So, I mean, there's definitely some times where you got to put it into the defense where there's somebody spying him, there's some zone, there's different things that you have to account for. You can't just not account for him and play 10 on 11. You definitely got to count him dang near as a running back and a real running threat.
Jaylon Johnson with us, Parkins and Spiegel on The Score. We talked to you last week about you were looking forward to the challenge of number 1 and number 4 in terms of receiving yards, Hill and Waddle. How would you assess your performance and the defense's performance yesterday?
I feel like my performance was solid. I thought there was not too many real opportunities to just get up and challenge. And I feel like it's really hard to even do that in considering the type of offense that they have, running sideline to sideline, so many motions. It's so tricky to really get up there and challenge. And then, I mean, at the end of the day, I have to run the calls that are executed. So, I mean, I feel like for me, when I had opportunities to challenge and to really cover guys, I feel like I did well. I feel like there's some times where I kind of got to get on the same page as some other guys on the field in certain situations, or really figure out how coaches want me to play certain coverages. I know there was one time we had a double team on Tyreek Hill, and there was, I feel like, some slight confusion on exactly how to play it, and things like that. So, I mean, I feel like I just got to find a better way to execute in that situation. But I feel like really as a whole, I feel like the defense, we all feel like the performance wasn't good enough. And I feel like in the fourth quarter, we came alive. We ended up getting some stops late that gave us an opportunity to win. But I feel like overall, it just wasn't good enough. We didn't take away the explosives like we wanted to, and we didn't create any turnovers.
It did get better, though. You're right. And in the fourth quarter, after you guys had kind of figured it out and got going, as you said, Matt Eberflus punted. Bears punted, and you guys had to come up with a stop. And you did. That must have been satisfying. Wish you could have found that a little bit earlier, that groove that you guys found in the fourth.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I feel like really for us, it was really just about getting off the field on third downs. We went over the film today, and it really was so many times where we shot ourselves in the foot on third downs, not being on the same page as a unit. Some people running one coverage, not the other side running a different coverage, just not being on the same page and not communicating. I thought it was sometimes where that definitely shot us in the foot where we could have got off the field. But I mean, really, it's just really about us really slowing the game down and finding ways to communicate and be on the same playing field, really, and being able to go out there and execute as a defense. I feel like we just really have to find a way to lock into that and know our assignment and be all on the same page.
So it's interesting because the coach talked about not the secondary not getting underneath guys. Like when you're in cover zero and you're trying to man up, you need to get underneath guys. I wasn't sure exactly what that meant. What did he mean, you think, by wanting you guys to get underneath some of those receivers?
Underneath some of the receivers. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure exactly what he means by that.
Okay.
Not in that context.
Okay.
Well, you were saying that you guys had a hard time jamming them at the line, right? You like to play physical, and obviously you're not.
I didn't say that.
You did not say that.
No.
But okay, so when you were saying that they go side to side in the motion, and it makes it hard to To do what then?
To challenge. I'm saying challenge in terms of it's not like you can just call man to man. You can't just do things like that because you have to cover different people that are moving from one side of the field to the other side of the field. People are moving. I feel like you can't. That makes it hard for you just to be able to call man to man because normally man to man, if everybody's spread out in their one position, it's easier to cover that. But I mean, you got Tyreek Hill that's going from one side to the other side, running full speed. Now he's jetting up the field. That's not a good situation. So I'm saying in terms of challenge, I'm saying in terms of a scheme, in terms of something, a situation that allows you to get up there and to be able to put your hands on. Now, there's sometimes, of course, in some zones where you can put your hands on and you don't have to worry about him getting over the top. But I feel like it's hard, too, when you want to get your hands on, but then he just takes off across the field. It's not like he's just coming into you and allowing you to put hands on him. So, I mean, it's definitely some things that you can't always control, even when you do want to get up there and challenge.
So then, like on the Tyreek Hill touchdown where he ends up doing the backflip in the end zone, is that miscommunication or what happens there?
Honestly, I would say a good combination of them calling a good play and us not being in the right play. I feel like for that whole defensive side, I feel like we were all in a bind. I feel like our read and our keys allowed us and forced us to play a certain way, and we couldn't cover multiple things at once. I thought there were about 2-3 guys open on that play.
Right.
So I feel like you're kind of danged if you do, danged if you don't type of situation. I feel like they just had a good play against the play that we called. And we had to play it and execute it the best way we could. And it was a beater at the end of the day.
It seems like they were picking you guys a lot. Like, right, they're running pick plays a lot. Like that. How the hell are you? What are you supposed to do about that? When they're picking you? I guess that's why everybody does it. It works well.
It's one of those things where it works when they can identify if you're in man coverage or not. So I know there were a few times when they seen us in man or in some situations like that, they automatically kind of check to some picking plays. And I feel like at the end of the day, it makes it a lot harder covering somebody when you have other people crossing their face, you have other people to kind of elude and then go back to covering the wide receiver. And I mean, it's already hard trying to cover Tyreek Hill by itself. And now you got other people rubbing and coming into the picture that you have to account for, that you have to move, elude, and now you also have to cover Tyreek Hill. It just makes things a lot more difficult.
Another thing I would imagine that makes your job very difficult, Jaylon, right? They talk about coverage sacks, right? Sometimes when the coverage is so great, it allows the pass rush to get home, but then also sometimes there's a pass rush causes a quarterback to throw it half a second earlier, and it's easier to cover a guy for a half second shorter or get an interception or a pass breakup or something like that. There hasn't been a lot of pass rush the last couple of weeks. It's such a complimentary game. How difficult is the job that you are tasked with doing when there's not a huge pass rush being generated?
Ooh, that definitely makes it harder on top of what we already have to do. And I say that not even from a standpoint of pressure. No, I wouldn't say pressure of sacks or anything like that, but I feel like when there's a level of comfort that a quarterback may have, a level of vision that they have to deliver some throws, I feel like it definitely makes it a lot harder. It makes those throws a lot more precise, makes those throws a lot more accurate. And it's really for us, I feel like as corners in certain positions, I mean, we're just playing monkey in the middle. So, I mean, at least if we have, I would say, what would I say? Some disruption, I would say, for that quarterback to not be able to maybe see things as clearly and maybe throw the ball, throw a bad ball or something like that and give us an opportunity to make a play on high at across the middle of the field and things like that. So, I mean, I feel like for him, the system is working well.
What did you think of the pass interference call on Eddie Jackson?
I have to watch my language on here, so I'm going to just say I didn't like the call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he turned around. He was playing the ball.
I don't see how you call PI on somebody that has their back to the wide receiver who's looking for the ball.
Right.
But you don't call the other one who was bear hugging our wide receiver.
That was an arm around the waist of Claypool as he came in. Was it two?
2 arms. So
outrageous.
I mean, I'm not trying to get you fined here. I'm honestly not. But like, what happens when that is happening on the field? Is there conversation with the ref? Like, when you guys go back to the defensive huddle before the next play? Like what happens in that sequence?
I mean, really, I mean, of course, there's always some words that are said, some disagreeing, but at the end of the day, I mean, they're on the ball. They're going right again, trying to score the ball. So I mean, it's not too much soaking we can do really until we get to the sideline or anything like that. It's just one of those things where it's like, hey man, we got to forget about it and we got to keep going because that's what the offense is doing. They're going to keep going. They're happy they got the call. So I mean, it's really not too much we can do in that moment besides just keep going, keep battling through the game and trying to get off the field.
So you were named honorary captain for this game. What does an honorary captain do?
What does an honorary captain do? I mean, really, I feel like two things is you give a speech on Friday after the practice, and then you go out for the coin toss. I feel like those are the two biggest things that you do.
Oh, how was your speech?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I forgot I even had the speech. Like normally people kind of get prepared for the speech, kind of like have these things they want to talk about. But I feel like for me, I was too locked in on what was going on. I forgot I was the day preacher for the day, and I was sitting in the back and I was talking about what we just had going on, the play that we just were covering, and then he was like, "Yeah, our honorary captain Jaylon come up and give our team some words." I'm like, dang, like now I gotta freestyle this. It's already hard going up in front of the team talking, and now I gotta freestyle. But I mean, I made it work. Really just had to talk from the heart to the team, really. But I mean, I had to wing it for sure.
How are you guys doing as a group? You were eloquent last week, Jaylon, talking about life after those guys were traded, after Quinn and Roquan were traded. Some people step up into that leadership void a little bit. You said some people were going to have to.
I feel like it's hard to tell. Just really after week one, I feel like everybody's just so busy to worried about their job. Of course, there's some new guys coming in, filling roles. I feel like Nick Morrow did a very good job. I feel like for him to be that linebacker one for us now, and then Jack Sanborn coming in and really playing in his first NFL game on defense. I feel like for those guys to step up, I feel like just spoke volumes to what they want to be in this league and their confidence in themselves. But I mean, I feel like it's really early to tell in terms of the leadership role. Everybody's just trying to, like I said, keep being their authentic self, and just keep getting better and keep trying to find ways to help this team win.
Jaylon, I want to hear your impromptu speaking, man. Can you give us a little bit of the speech? What did you say?
I feel like I can tell you some of the basics. I feel like it really, like, for me was kind of just about pride. I feel like after last week's game, I feel like there were some things, especially for the defense side of the ball, that we could have stopped. And I feel like there just comes a time where you hit adversity and you have to put your foot down and you have to take pride in kind of what you're doing and take pride in the results that are going on around you. And then really just kind of talking about what this game was going to look like, how we needed to perform for us to be able to win. Really just kind of have pride in everything that we do.
So it sounds like it was good. It went over well. Not exactly Al Pacino in Any Given Sunday, but it was you'd grade yourself solid speech?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely solid. Not one of my best speeches, but not a bad speech.
And then how are you feeling? We know you went into the injury tent for a bit. How you feeling?
Good. I just had a little bruised rib, but nah, it was just within the heat of the battle. I don't even remember how it happened. I just know I came to the sideline and was hurting a little bit, but I mean, it just comes with the heat of battle.
All right, well, man, this is a weird spot for Bears fans. It's been, I know you've been a part of the last couple of years of teams where it's like the defense kind of carries the offense. Now it feels like the offense is carrying the defense. Everyone thinks it's going to get real scary around here. If the defense gets good again, add a few more pieces, you're going to be a part of this thing for a long time. I know it's tough coming off the losses, but it does feel like an exciting time for Bears fans and for Bears football is in the not too distant future, Jaylon.
Oh no, for sure. I feel like we got to click on all cylinders together. And I feel like that's kind of the biggest consensus that we have so far is that when we are all on the same page and we're all clicking together in all three phases, we'll be a very, very dangerous team. And I feel like we have yet to done that consistently. So, I mean, really just trying to find ways for everybody to click together in unison to be able to pull out wins.
And I want you to know, Bears fans want to pass this along. The Packers have not won since you wore the cheese head.
Still
haven't won.
It's your power. Your power is enormous, Jaylon.
Well, hey, I appreciate that. Might have to wear it in a few weeks.
That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying.
Hey, thanks for putting up with us, man. And thanks for always doing it and being such a good sport. We appreciate it.